We have been here in West Cornwall for 10 years. We loved being on the river and having nature all around us. And it was important because we're kind of in a bowl. We have mountains or hills around us on all sides. So the light, while it's beautiful, we don't have it for very long in the day. So it was important for us to create a house that sort of had the ability to bring the outside in and give us as much light as we could get from the space. And you feel like you're outside, and when you're upstairs, you feel like you're in the trees. Our architect, Bastien Halard, calls it the treehouse.
Oh, Dee, I love this room. You know, every time I come here, because I'm only, as you know, 25 minutes away, I'm struck anew by how both completely familiar your house seems and also unlike anything I've ever seen, which I know was your great intention.
That was the brief, in fact, to the architect. And we didn't really have anything else to add to that. We had some pictures, but that was basically it. And the architect, Bastien Halard, who lived very near us in Brooklyn, really rose to the occasion. I mean, he nailed it on the first try. And people walk from the other side of the river and can see the front facade of the house. And then we meet them somewhere and they're like, "Oh, I know your house." It's really unlike anything else, but looks like it always has been there.
It feels like encountering an old friend.
Yeah.
But now, did he do everything from scratch? Did he add on new parts? It seems like it completely as one.
There was a house here, but when we bought the property, I said, "No, can't live here." It was a really derelict house. But the guest cottage that you passed on your way in, we renovated that. And because we were weekenders, we lived there, and it was great. And we did that for 5 years, testing out whether we really wanted to be here. And we definitely did. So we took the old house down and built this one.
Everywhere when I walk through, and I remarked on this last time to myself, there is a sense of nature, not just nature, the incredible, what is outside, but also the way that you've brought in both in your patterns, the colors, but also the literal plant light in a very natural, casual way. But yet everything is so beautifully edited. And I was wondering, because you were at magazines like I was, do you think that kind of editing, your eye over the years of seeing so many beautiful things has helped you when you did here?
Thank you for saying that, because it means a lot to me. Yeah, I think it's kind of two things. I have looked at a lot of pictures. And
The Eye Must Travel.
Yeah, The Eye Must Travel, Diana Vreeland, right? And I have tear sheets, a go-go. I mean, just drawers and drawers of tear sheets. So my eye is definitely educated, but also when you live here, I'm outside all day long. That's what I do. I spend my time in the woods. And to kind of bring the woods inside, makes it really meaningful for me.
But you do it all in a very elegant way.
Thank you.
The way, like in this room, for example, it's your kind of classic, almost English sitting room in a country house, and yet there's something so elegant about all the pieces that I could be visiting you in Paris right now. Or in Edinburgh, where you have a home. So there is a wonderful timelessness here.
I really appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's about being old enough to have pieces from 20 and 30 years ago, like the actually, believe it or not, Yves Halard table, which is Bastien's grandparents that I bought in the 80s. So it is the mix of everything, and the old and new, and high and low, and all that. It's fun to put a signature on it.
Will you show me your kitchen again, because that was like one of my all-time favorite rooms.
Thank
and if
you.
I remember, it's like right over there. So if I can invite myself for a cup of tea, let's go over there. Okay. This is one of the all-time greatest rooms, thank you, proportionately, for a kitchen, which it is, for a living sitting room, which it is, and for a dining room. It all coexists, and then you've got the nature right here, so it's almost like an outdoor porch sitting room. How did you get it like this? What was your intention?
Well, one of the things that we did to make it feel like it could be a living space as well as a kitchen is we put all the nitty gritty in the pantry, which is actually quite large. And there's a refrigerator in there, and all the food is in there. So you don't have the kind of real guts of a kitchen.
That was so smart. Like, why don't more people do, like, that's brilliant.
Well, you do have to walk a lot back and forth.
It's worth it. Look at your holding area for all your tabletop.
Yeah. Well, that's
much
nice
prettier
and easy to get to. So thank you. So so that made it easy, and really the only thing that's appliancey is the stove and the vent.
And then you've got room for incredible counter space, but it's not at the expense of either sitting area. More formal here, hang out here, and just talk to me about the incredible palette, because it's subtle, and yet there are these punctuation points of some darks, which I love, and then the uber white of the tiles.
Right. This was a really considered choice. I really struggled over the paint color, and but when I saw it, I knew it was just what I wanted, like a creamy white, but not too much of any particular, not too yellow, not too
so hard
brown. It really is hard. And then I had to get my red in, because I had to have like a room that had some red in it. It's just the color.
Wait, why is that? Is that because it's like your favorite color, or you felt it needed red, or?
Yeah, I'm not sure it's my favorite color, but I love the way red makes you feel. It's a happy color, and it's a sophisticated color, and so the burgundy, which, I mean, these curtains have no purpose really. You can't really close them, but they're just kind of a stripe of burgundy, and then the real stripe of the cushions on the chairs, and the way that echoes on the sofa. I had to have a black sofa because it just gets messy with the dog and everything like that, and I just find it
looks
really
amazing.
practical.
The way that it parallels this chunky black here.
Yeah, I don't think that we figured that out. I think that's like you pointing it out, and that's true, but I don't think that we thought about that.
It wasn't intentional, but it all kind of worked.
Yeah,
as great minds, as happens with great minds.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so that's how we got there, and then then you start living in it, and you start adding things like the yellow punctuation of the porcelain.
Tell me about the cultural moments in this house, because like every great sentence syntax, you have great adjectives, you have balance that commas and punctuation do, and the cultural references from your travels and from your collecting are really subtly woven throughout everywhere.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, in fact, that picture on the little table there comes from a store that you like in Paris. What's the name of that store that on the 7th?
Verneuil, something.
Yeah, Rue de Verneuil. So that comes from there.
You got that there?
Yes.
We love that place.
Yeah.
Remember, Stacy, when we went and I tried on the coat?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was from there. Anyway, that place is fabulous.
The tiles are Delft tiles. They're handmade, and I love the irregularities and the little dots that you can see. Those are from drying them. And then the plates are Hungarian or Romanian, I think, actually.
Just all the little touches. I mean, again, I want people to kind of appreciate how easy it is to bring that kind of dimension and depth. This is seemingly something so simple as white tiles, yet they're not. They've got that kind of imperfection. And then adding those, just that row of plates from a trip or however you found them.
I actually got them on Cabana.
Well, good for you. I mean, again, it's all about an exoticness, right, I guess, in the Connecticut countryside.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's you see something and you know it'll go, and you work around things you have, like the Julie Meritou pictures and little things from little knickknacks from travel, and then you find the piece that just pulls it all together.
I love this. What was the genesis of this? Of your bathroom? It's just so beautiful.
Thank you. Well, when you're building a house, there's some decisions that you have to make like really early, and the bathroom fixtures we had to decide before we even knew kind of what the feeling was. So we got the sink, we got the tub, and then there was all this space because it's a really big room. It's so much fun to take a bath and have Rob in the chair, and we can talk, and it's just a
you
whole
kind of have your end of day checking in. How did your day go? Talk here.
Completely. But the mirror, the sconces, the armoire, we got them locally for the most part, and filled in little by little. So this happened over time.
What I love about some of these pieces, and I encourage people to think about this in their bathrooms, is that bring in pieces that should be in other rooms of the house, right? Like these could be in a dining room or in an entryway, and yet they're here so at home in your bathroom.
Yeah, and the candlelight when you're taking a bath is just amazing.
Divine. Don't miss another video visit. Click on the orange Q to subscribe and have Quintessence virtually delivered from our doorstep to yours.